Hello everybody, thanks for joining Walrus News Now. We have a breaking news alert. Scott Walker is dropping out of the 2016 presidential race. We're going to play CNN's video.
CNN has learned Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker will end his bid for the Republican presidential nomination. That's according to a GOP strategist close to the campaign and a senior Republican advisor with knowledge of Walker's plans. Let's go right to CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash. Dana, the governor's campaign has scheduled a press conference in just a little while. Not a huge surprise, although the fact that it would happen this quickly after that CNN poll showing him with less than 1/2 of 1% after being at 5% earlier, that's a pretty quick movement.
Very quickly, especially given the fact that he was riding so high not that long ago.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is that this is, as we were just talking about in the beginning of the show, this is the year for the non-politician. And Scott Walker is a lifelong elected politician. And it's not just that. He has had trouble really kind of gaining his ground in trying to prove that he is this outside guy, but also a conservative with a conservative record, and still kind of an aw shucks Midwestern guy. In the end, it's sort of ended up like a muddled kind of message, and that has been his big problem. But the fact that he had went from riding so high, Jake, to now literally an asterisk in our poll shows that we see it as a problem, but clearly that campaign, which is very big, they have a lot of staffers, a lot of overhead, if you will, shows that they don't have.
Well, and here's the thing: he was #1 in the polls in neighboring Iowa, and then he started sinking. I think he was 9th or 10th. The New York Times reported that there were fundraisers of his that started saying on the record they were going to look around at other candidates. It was reported last week that he owed $100,000 to various vendors. This campaign was in trouble, and he needed something big. He needed to make it clear to people that he was going to be legit.
Exactly.
And he hasn't had that opportunity yet.
He hasn't, and this was a campaign also that focused on Iowa. It was Iowa or bust. And I think that the other storyline here is that this is a Trump issue. That he was supposed to be doing so well there, and then came Donald Trump, who took all of the oxygen, not just from Walker but other candidates, but for someone like Walker, who put all of his eggs in the Iowa basket, to be Mr. Conservative, it was very hard to compete with somebody who got all the free airtime.
And Walker was supposed to be the fighter. He was supposed to be the fighter, and Donald Trump ended up taking that heavyweight championship.
Exactly. But again, I think it's important to underscore what I was kind of mentioning at the beginning, which is he was supposed to be the fighter, but he was also supposed to be the guy who could show that he would fight and then would win the fights. But he had a lot of trouble explaining himself on conservative issues when his positions in the past didn't really mesh with what he was talking about in the campaign trail.
Scott Walker is dropping out of the Republican presidential race. Multiple sources confirmed to CNN the governor of Wisconsin entered the primary in July as a frontrunner, a darling of both the conservative base and of powerful donors after winning his battles against public unions in his left-leaning home state. But that promising start was quickly dashed after poor debate performances dried up support from the donors. Quote, "I am stunned," said one Walker donor. Walker had called a 6 p.m. Eastern Time news conference in Madison, Wisconsin, where he is expected to announce his decision to withdraw from the race. The New York Times reported Walker's plan to drop out. Those intentions were confirmed to CNN by a senior campaign official, a GOP strategist close to the campaign, and a senior GOP advisor with knowledge of his plans. The governor called some of his top supporters early Monday afternoon, informing them of his decision. According to one Walker insider, the person said Walker's recent plummet in the polls was a big factor in his decision-making. He sounded, quote, upbeat, they said, and his message to his supporters, "I did the best I could." Moving forward, Walker said that the best use of his time and the party's time would be dedicate all his resources to whoever eventually wins the nominee will be. Walker rocketed to the front of the GOP pack in Iowa after rousing a speech at the Iowa Freedom Summit in January, and subsequently his campaign pinned its hope on the first state to vote in his presidential nominating process, but Walker was hurt by a lackluster performance in the first Republican debates, and his poll numbers suffered. In a CNN RC poll released Sunday, Walker failed to garner even 1/2 of his 1% nationally among likely GOP primary voters. A GOP strategist close to the campaign told CNN that Walker is a prognosis, above all else, and just didn't see the path to come back. The strategist also said that the Walker campaign left last week's CNN's debate feeling alright, but quickly realized the outside reaction was flat at best. The source added that the national poll dropping was troubling, but it was the Iowa polling hit hardest, as the state was to serve our launchpad. Hard to see the path to us without Iowa, one source says. There has always been hope in the Walker campaign that Trump supporters were not active. Whatever. I'm sorry. Okay. The source said, but it was hard to find the popularity of both front-runner Donald Trump and Ben Carson. Walker was also hurt by a host of controversial issues, including birthright citizenship, which gave 3 different answers in span of 7 days. So the rest of this article, I'm going to be leaving the link in the description. Thanks for joining Walrus News Now. Have a lovely day.